Hi, I thought I might take a few minutes to show you how to create a graph. We talk a lot about using graphs in this course, and we do a lot of graphing, but I don't really ever spend time explaining how to do that, how to create one. So I thought I'd take a few minutes to just show you how to create a graph real quickly, just a basic progress monitoring graph. So I'm going to begin with some data. So I have here in Excel, I use Excel, it's the easiest one to use, I think. You'll see row 1 and row 2. Row 1 is the week. I put in the number for the week, and row 2 is the actual score. Okay. Now, the reason you do the week is so I can extend it. So I have data here for a number of weeks. I have data for 30 weeks. But I want to see the data for 36 weeks, say, for example, for a whole school year. I'll say 34 in this case, because we'll say the school year, well, let's say 35 weeks. I'll do it 35 weeks because I didn't collect the data the first week. All right. And I have all these data. Now I go through and just put in, this is the orbiting fluency score, the CBM score, whatever you're graphing, is row 2 there, and row 1 is the number that represents the week. I actually think it's important to use the week, because you're going to get the slope estimates and average growth and all that, and most of the national norms at 1.1 keep talking about is average growth per minute per week. So in order to have it per week, you've got to use week as your unit of analysis. So if I'm monitoring progress once a week, I simply put in the data. Now, I then highlight the data by dragging. All you have to do for Excel is click the cell and hold it down and drag, and it'll highlight whatever you want to highlight. So we're going to highlight both rows of data all the way through to 35. That's important. We'll see why in a second. Then we'll go to Insert, and I want to insert a graph. And so, yeah, also I can get this out of the way. My bar's in the way. I'm going to click on this graph right here that shows line graphs. The line graph you want are the one with the lines in it, with the markers in it, like this one or this one. Honestly, truly, I'm not sure the difference between the two. Just go with this one. Click that. Now, because I have two sets of data here, it's trying to create another data point for the week. So all I have to do is click on that once and delete it. Okay. You see right there, it created your graph. It's really pretty simple. But we're not done. We're going to make this graph look a little nicer. So I'm going to put in the student's name, whatever you want to call it. Let's say Ryan. Let's say Ryan's progress toward IEP goals. Okay. All right. Now we're still not done. We're going to do a couple things. I don't like to have these lines here, so I'm going to right-click that. You put your cursor on it, so it turns from a cross into an arrow, and then right-click it. And you can get format grid lines and just do no line. And then they're gone. I want to put a line here for this. So I'm going to, again, put your cursor over here. So it turns into an arrow. And then click that. And you can do format axis. And now there's all kinds of options. This changes the color. This changes effects. I never touched that. The only two I ever really use are the first one, which changes the color and the lines. And the last one, which you can change the maximum. So let's start with the color. So let's make it a solid line. I want it to be black. That's good. And now you can see it creates a line there. So now I don't like this gray line, so I'm gonna do the same thing down here and make that a solid line and make it black. Okay, there, that looks much better already. I don't need this little legend right here, so I'm gonna highlight that and delete it. I'll make this a little bigger so you can see it better. All right, now we're still not done. A couple things I want to change. First of all, as long as we're talking about this kid's in 4th grade. We haven't told you about yet is he starts at 33 words a minute. Over the course of, say, 36 weeks, he's going to increase, we said on an average, we want it to be 1.1. So I'm going to multiply 1.1 words per minute per week times 35 weeks. And is 38.5. Now I add that to the initial score of 33, and we get 71.5. Okay. Actually, should be, honestly, I forgot we used only 35 weeks with the data. So it should be 34 times 1.1 equals 37.4. Add that to the initial score of 33. We want to be at 70.4, so we'll round off to 70. I want to be at 70 words per minute. Now, this only goes up to 60. So in order to change it, again, we're going to highlight this. Oops, there you go. Okay, and now, remember I said here changes the color and all that kind of stuff? Here's where you change the other options. So let's change the axis options from a maximum of 60 to a maximum of 70. So that's where we want the kid to be. And actually set it to 80 if you wanted to, or something like that. There. And see how it's automatically changed it to 70. I want to change the color of this. I don't want to use orange. I want to use black. Black is more professional. All right, so I want to change the line and the marker. So the solid line is going to be black. I don't need 2.25. I'm going to make it 1. And I want the marker to be black as well. So I'm going to change the border and the fill. You have to change both of those. The border of the marker and the fill. Hopefully you can see how that happened. If not, of course, you can watch this multiple times. Now we're pretty much done. I don't like that font. I might change the font, but that's a preference choice. Switch it to, say, Times New Roman, which is what I tend to use. Maybe you have a different one you like. Oops. Make the font a little bigger. Now, here comes the important part. Let's make this graph a little bit bigger now. Here comes an important step in the process. We're going to draw that goal line we talk about. So this is the kid getting an IEP. So we're going to start here at 30, 33. I want to go up to 70. So I'm going to do insert, shape, and there's a line, okay? Now, first thing I'll do is I'll put that on 70, and just to be safe, if you hit shift, it'll make it be a straight line. So as you're holding, all I'm doing is I clicked, and then I'm holding. I wish you could see as I'm doing it. I'm dragging it, basically dragging it. And if I hit shift while I do it, it makes it a straight line. So that way it goes all the way over to 70. Okay. I'm going to insert another line. Starting at this 33 and going up to 70 at week 35. So go over to week 35 and go up to where that line is 70. Boom. And now I can delete this line. There. And now you can see, after just a few data points, this kid's not making pretty good progress. We probably have to make a change to his IEP. That's why you want to have those extra, not to his IEP, I'm sorry, to his intervention, to what you're doing with the kid. What you're doing probably is not going to get him to his IEP goal. So here you can see, that's why we set the weeks of data in the whole graph up to 35. You want to be able to go all the way to 75 and make sure you go up, make sure your vertical axis here has the number that represents the goal. And that's how you make a pretty cool looking graph. And then you can cut and paste it by doing that and just, cutting and pasting it into whatever document you want to use.